All right, we are back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. I got Carter and Richie with me on this Thanksgiving weekend. How we doing tonight, boys?
Carter, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm surviving right now. I'm still under the weather, man. It's been a rough week, but had a great Thanksgiving. Got to spend it with my family. Made the fucking best turkey you will ever have. I promise you. Anybody out there, come at me. I promise you, I can outperform all of you. It's good. I brined this motherfucker for 30 hours, dried it off, let it dehydrate in the fridge for 4 hours. Then I fucking put a rub on it, put some butter under the skin to get it all nice and moist, as they say. And then I smoked it for about 5 hours. It was the best turkey I've ever had. It was phenomenal. And that's not just me. That was peer reviewed.
The reviews are in on Yelp.
Yes, and no, so that was great. Had a great time. Hung out with my mom. My dad's in town for essentially a month and a half or a month, and then my brothers were there. My nieces and nephews got to see all of them. So it was good, man. It was a good Thanksgiving. It was a good week. But I am so jacked up and ready to fucking go for tomorrow, dude. I went to a live show today, and the juice. I was ready to go. After that live show, I was like, all right, let's go play some football, baby. It's the end of November. It's the end of November football. This is what you play for. This is what everybody dreams of. And we're here, and it's time. So I'm great, man. What about you guys? How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. We just kind of chilled at home yesterday. My wife and the girls just hung out. Didn't do much. Watched some TV. Played with Quinn and my oldest. We played some football. She went tossed the football around. Kind of a chill day with us here. And tomorrow is the big day. Rivalry Saturday. My dad's picking me up bright and early. We're driving down from Stark County to the shoe. Get there about 9 o'clock. So I'm pumped. Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, I've had a countdown on our fridge calendar for the last year with this date circled. 11 months, 10 months, 9 months. Just the countdown was going on for me because I'm ready, man. Like you, Carter. I'm ready to play some. I'm ready to go.
I think, and Duke, I won't forget you, and I'll let you talk here in a second. But dude, this weekend has been building for 12 months at least, right? And I mean, this is what it's all been building up to. Now, Ohio State, Michigan, obviously, Notre Dame, USC. You got Georgia losing to Georgia Tech right now. I mean, this has been 12 months coming of just everybody they just want to see their team win, right? And for certain teams like Ohio State, they haven't seen their team win the last weekend in November for a couple years now. If you're a USC fan, you haven't seen USC beat Notre Dame for a little while. And so it's just been building. And I just can't wait. That tomorrow at noon cannot get here quick enough for me. But Duke, how was your Thanksgiving? I don't want to just completely bypass you.
Oh no! Just a real quick reminder out there. Everybody watching on YouTube, come on over to, or watching on Twitter, excuse me. Come on over to YouTube and get interactive in the chat. We're gonna see how long this thing goes tonight for everybody out there watching. So if you're on Twitter, hop on over to YouTube. We're gonna be taking questions. This is our the last week of the season, Saturday show of the regular season. Everything else is going to be bowl games and the postseason. And then Sagaro Lounge in Hubbard, Ohio. We're going to be up there live for championship weekend. The owner's a great guy, going to be hosting us. We're going to be doing a live show starting at noon. There's the graphic on cue, producer Ed. We're going to be there at noon. We're going to be going live, and we're going to have an extra mic. So if we hook that up, we'll probably even be taking questions from the crowd as well. So we have that going. And then hit the like and subscribe button and help us grow this thing. But getting that out of the way, Thanksgiving was good. Ate a lot of turkey, ham, mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, you know it. But as we go on here real quick, and we did play some football in the backyard with my son. But moving on, getting into more of the football side of things, we can just recap today really quick, and I'll just buzz through these scores really fast. The Tulane Green Wave fall to Memphis at home, so Tulane eliminated from playoff contention. They're going to play in the conference championship, so I believe. So Tulane's got one more game left, possible bowl game. I think John Summerall's going to have some inquiries depending on what goes on at Arkansas. There's a lot of not a lot of movement right now. Although Mac Brown out as head coach of North Carolina, I don't think we've been live since that had happened. Kevin Wilson also out. It's very unfortunate. When you have your whole staff is kind of in limbo right now because whenever you bring in a new guy, people get fired. People got to find new jobs, and there hasn't been a lot of job openings going on. But
before we move on, there's a certain person on this show that told me Tulane was the best group of 5 team out there.
I think
what happened? What happened?
They lost at home to Missouri, or not Missouri, Memphis.
Memphis,
but,
of all people. I'm just saying, the best group of 5 team. I don't know.
But at the beginning of the year, I said Memphis should have most likely been the group of 5 team. I think Memphis and Tulane and Louisiana Lafayette are better than Boise. Boise.
So here's what sets up, though. This is interesting. Have you looked at it when Boise? I'll say when because I'm speaking it into existence. When Boise when Boise loses the Mountain West championship game, do you know who the group of 5 team will be?
Probably UNLV.
Army, baby.
Army,
baby.
Told you.
Army, baby. And then when Texas A&M beats Texas and wins the SEC, Notre Dame will have faced 2 playoff teams and beat them both.
See, this is we've been through the group of 5 thing. I don't like it. I think we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Tulane goes home. They had some momentum at the end, just didn't get it done. But I'll buzz through all the scores going through. But I still think Tulane is better than Boise, and I think Louisiana Lafayette, Memphis. I think those teams are better than Boise, but that's just my opinion. Going through the scores here, San Jose State ekes one out against Stanford at home. Wild finish, another wild finish in the Sun Belt. Texas State beats South Alabama. Tough year for the Major Applewhite and the Jags, although they did go 5-3 in conference. So,
you know where Major Applewhite played his college ball?
Texas.
Yep. Who was his competition at quarterback?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Sims?
Yep.
Thinking that far back.
Yeah, gotta go on, old school on you guys here. I'm a little older than y'all, so I think so. Anyways, I don't know I forget how old Richie is. I'm older than Duke for sure.
Yeah,
say I'll be in the last year of my 30s come May.
Okay, you're older than me then.
So moving on to another interesting game today, I thought was piqued my interest. Colorado State. Utah State. Colorado State could not do anything on offense. They couldn't play dead in the Western in the first half. Come out in the second half, score 29 fourth quarter points to come back and get the victory over Utah State. Sam Houston takes out Liberty. Liberty, it is what it is.
Liberty.
They were supposed to be the next biggest thing. Navy, Eastern Carolina. Navy beats them handedly. Ball State gets ran through by Ohio U. Miami of Ohio couldn't get it done, or Miami of Ohio gets it done against Bowling Green, which I was really shocked. Minnesota coming out and thumping Fick in Wisconsin.
Jeez. I did not see that. I did not see that.
Hey, don't sleep on Minnesota now. The Fighting PJ Flex have had some days now, right? They
roll the boat, baby. Roll the boat.
I mean, they beat Michigan, right? And then they almost beat Penn State.
Yeah.
And now they go out and hey, he's selling used cars like nobody's business up there in Minnesota.
Well, I think the big thing is with Minnesota. This is just my opinion. It's not back when the days of Glenn Mason when you had Marion Barber. You had
rest in peace.
Yeah. You got a big contingent of NFL players that were up there at that time. You told me the story. Your grandfather instead of hiring somebody else, he wanted somebody else hired, which, if you go back and look at it, you can't disagree with him on that.
No, yeah. My grandfather pounded the table with Ohio State brass for Glenn Mason to be the head coach at Ohio State. And they wanted to hire a guy by the name of Jim Tressel, who my grandfather loved Jim Tressel too. But his point was when you looked at their resumes at the time,
it wasn't even close.
Yeah, exactly. And Ohio State was like, we're going with Tressel. And he's like, I mean, I love Tressel, but I think you're making a mistake. And did they? I mean, obviously Tressel had phenomenal success at Ohio State and it went really well until some kids got tattoos and, whatever at that point. But yeah, I think Glenn Mason was, I know for a fact he was, I mean, not close, but damn near the next head coach at Ohio State after John Cooper. And what would that have done to his legacy and to his career? And then where would Jim Tressel be? It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Big what if?
Yeah, I just think, hindsight's 2020. A lot of people weren't thrilled with the Marcus Freeman hire, but I think they're on a better trajectory than what Wisconsin is right now.
Well, for sure. And if you look at that coaching class, as you say, right, we're 3 years in. You have Fickle, Freeman, Matt Rule, and I think those are the major ones.
Yeah, and I think out of those three, just my opinion, I think Rule got dealt the worst hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think Freeman walked into the best situation of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Notre Dame was a national contender, whether you believe it or not, because of Brian Kelly's performance in big games. They were making the playoffs. Like they were competing for playoff spots every year. The other two weren't even close. And Wisconsin was closer than Nebraska. So I agree. But when you look at those three, the other two have head coaching experience at major programs, at NFL franchises, and Marcus Freeman was the only one who was kind of an unknown. I mean, we knew what he was as defense coordinator. He was a young, fiery guy. The team liked him, and they bring him in. They elevate him to head coach, which I have not been shy in my criticism of Marcus Freeman at times, but at the end of the day, he's getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at it a bunch of different ways, but I think that was probably the best hire of that cycle, you would say.
Yeah, and keep going down the list. I don't know what happened in Boulder, Colorado today, but somebody, I think Travis Hunter.
What happened?
I think Travis Hunter is still running.
Yeah, Travis Hunter just took his pants off and flopped it out there for everybody to see and said, I'm that motherfucker. I'm taking over. What do you have? 10 catches for 116 yards, a touchdown, three tutties,
and a pick.
An interception, and like 8 tackles or something. Like, I mean, and he played 114 snaps. Like, he went out there and said, all right, I'm done playing with y'all. Like, I'm sick of this. This is annoying.
At elevation too.
Yeah, I think he solidified the Heisman right there with that performance, boys.
I think that's.
I mean,
can we talk about that for a second,
do?
though? How many times can you do the Heisman pose before it's like fucking annoying?
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Desmond struck it once.
You got to remember.
Travis Hunter does it every time he scores.
Well, when Desmond did it, we have to remember it was the last home game for him.
Yeah, he waited until the end.
Today was kind of the last. It was the last hurrah.
I'm not talking about today. He's been doing it all year, and he's not wrong. He's gonna win the Heisman. Listen, there has not been a bigger lock for the Heisman Trophy since Kyler Murray.
And the other thing too is that I think it's great. Colorado's Twitter and all their social media has campaigns. Hunter for Heisman. They have buttons. People had T-shirts.
Sounds like you're taking a subtle shot at somebody there, dude.
And somehow he doesn't end up on the Thorpe award finalist. I get it, but
so I hate all those awards. By the way,
yeah. I don't like them
garbage.
Either.
I think they're all garbage. Every single one.
The thing
they're all stat awards. They don't actually take into account anything that matters. Like you can't sit there and tell me that Travis Hunter isn't one of the best corners or defensive backs in college football. It's just not true.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and tell me that. And Marv won the Biletnikoff the year after he should have. He should have won it the year before. He shouldn't have won it the year he won it.
No.
He won
and the same thing's going to happen this year, right? Because the Biletnikoff, who's up for it? Travis and then Tat and some other fuck.
Was that Williams from Bama?
No, he's not on it.
He's not on it?
No. But Tat will probably win it, even though Tat's stats are nothing like they were last year. And it's like you give it to people a year late, I guess. Just because you're like, oh, they were good last year. We should keep an eye on them. Oh, they're still kind of good. Well, we'll give them the award now. It's stupid. The awards are stupid. They're all stat bullshit awards. Like the people that make those lists don't watch football. They just look at stats and they go, oh, these are the top 3 guys with the most rushing yards this year. Let's put them on the list. And it's like, yeah, well, 2 of those guys have played against fucking the Sisters of the Poor every week.
Yeah, the Mountain West isn't the Big 12. A lot of people want to say the Big 12 is not very good, but
it's not. But yeah,
but the competition level is better.
Yeah, it's better than the Mountain West. It's better than I forget who the other guy is at the moment. But no, Genty's the Mountain West, but I forget the other guy that's up for it.
And Dylan Gabriel.
No, for the Doak Walker, the running back of the year. Anyways, he's another kid that's in a small school, and then the one kid down in the SEC that's been lighting it on fire, and he's not even up for it. And it's like, dude, he's by far probably the best running back in college football. He's at least top 2 with Genty, and he's not even up for it.
Yeah, and even looking at the game today, 52-0, and Gundy didn't even try to score. He just kind of gave up, I thought.
Yeah, I think that locker room's lost. It's been lost.
Well, it's one of those things going into the year. I don't think they had a quarterback at all, and, it was blatantly evident. And then Ollie Gordon didn't play pretty much the entire second half. Colorado was lighting them up. It just, and since we're on the Colorado thing here, if you're Dallin Hayden, do you go back to Colorado next year?
I don't know why he went there in the first place, but yeah.
I don't know. I think I think he got bad
advice. Here's the thing. 100% he got bad advice. But here's the thing that kills me about Dallin Hayden, and Ohio State fans come at me. I was told Tony Alford was an abysmal coach because he couldn't get Dallin Hayden on the field. You know how many carries he has this entire season?
62.
Yeah, 62. Yeah. He might have carried the ball today. If he did, it might be more than that, but not much. And do you know why that is?
Oh, because he's bad in pass pro.
Yes, because he can't fucking block. And that's half of his job.
Oh, yeah.
Pick up those blitzes. Yep.
I mean, you know, the people that want to argue it, it's on the coach's film room on Minnesota Sports, but you know, Colorado completely just takes
him back behind the woodshed and just beats the ever living shit out of him.
Yeah, and then also you got the Egg Bowl today. I was pulling for Mississippi State today. I thought they'd get it done. They just didn't. It was a turn of events. You know, Mississippi State just did not have the dogs to stay in the race. It was you know, for the most part, it was you know, a one-sided. There was a huge talent gap, but what I think you see
another prediction Duke got wrong.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, better return that cowbell.
Oh, I'm keeping the cowbell, boys.
How did you ring the cowbell at all today?
You know I
did. You can't do it after they.
You can't do it after they
lost.
But dude. I look at a program like Mississippi State. You know, they're gaining resources, but I think that they had some talented players there, and I think that as long as everything being real, they are they're trending in the right direction for sure. So, you know, that's what it is. And then we slide on down to Boise State. You know, still their only loss is to Oregon on the road. You know, Oregon State acted like they had some sign of life, and then it was just meh, nothing really there. I thought they couldn't do anything offensively. You know, Oregon State's kind of down bad. They're completely rebuilding that program since their coach bolted to Michigan State in the middle of the night. So hopefully he left Pac-12 school in the middle of the night to go to Michigan State. Hopefully his fate is not the same as Mel Tucker. And then currently,
do you mean like he's gonna stroke it to Brenda Tracy on FaceTime?
I don't know.
I don't know what you meant by that. I was just curious.
Getting fired.
No, okay.
Getting fired, and then right now we got Utah in a dogfight with UCF. Utah is up 10-7. They're about to kick a field goal, and then Nebraska somehow
commercial break, and Georgia just dropped the ball.
Oh, and Georgia is down 17-0.
Oh my God, dude! The SEC. What are you doing?
It means more.
Well, okay, can we have a serious conversation about the SEC finally, or is that not allowed? Are we not allowed to do that? Because I don't know if the SEC should get one team in at this point. I mean, I know they will, but I'm just saying, like, who's the best team in the SEC right now? You got
I don't even know. I can't even pick any.
Texas? Okay.
It's the big thing. The big thing for me, I go back and forth on this because I think that in that league, it's hard to win on the road, and it's the same in the Big Ten.
Don't even give me it's hard to win on the. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm being serious. Look at the records.
That's cool.
The Big Ten opponents that are ranked higher than the home team have a losing record.
Yeah, that's fine. You know how many losses they have? Like one on the whole year.
Because if we do the whole thing like the SEC and the Big Ten. Ohio State went on the road to Oregon. That's a loss.
Yep.
Ohio State has one of the very, very few big wins, just like Georgia in the SEC. They went on the road and beat Texas.
Yeah, but Ohio State didn't lose 2 other games.
But they have one loss, but it's also on the road. Georgia's losses this year have been on the road. Do I think Virginia Tech will Virginia Tech this up? I don't know. I don't. They have a 3-score lead right now, and it's I don't know. I don't know if Georgia pulls it out.
I don't think they do. That's gonna mess my 21-leg dollar parlay.
Yeah, I mean, if they pull it out, I'll give them a little bit of a pass. But for me, you're talking about Georgia having 3 losses.
They're
right?
done.
Bama.
What do you mean that they're going to go to the SEC title game still?
See, this is the whole thing with the conference championship thing, because if they lose tonight, they still go to the conference championship, and if they beat A&M or Texas,
yeah, they're in.
That it literally doesn't do anything, and I don't know if Texas.
What do you do? Okay, so what do you do in the scenario where, let's say A&M beats Texas?
Yeah.
Then you have, and let's say Georgia continues to lose to Georgia Tech.
Georgia's in no matter what.
I know, but I'm saying you have 2 3-loss teams competing for the SEC championship. And I've been told that the championship weekend can't be held against them. So is a 4-loss loser in?
If they win the title?
No. If, let's say Georgia beats A&M, right? But A&M had to play that extra game. Now they have 4 losses. I was told by the committee that they're not going to hold that conference championship loss against a team. Well, now is A&M going to make it as a 4-loss team?
I don't know, because
there's no way. There's no way you can let that happen. Like, I'm sorry. I get it. The SEC is the best conference in football, and it just means more. But a 4-loss SEC team, get the fuck out of here.
Oh no. Georgia just muffed the punt, and I think Georgia Tech's got it.
Let's go Ramblin' Wreck, baby. Let's go Ramblin' Wreck. Hey, I don't want to hear shit about it. Notre Dame beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat Miami, and they're about to beat Georgia. Tell me again how Notre Dame shouldn't be in, please. I'll wait.
I think Georgia got it.
I think they got it back, but
yeah, they got it back.
I think this is just my opinion. I think Georgia has a Carson Beck problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, at the beginning of the year, Texas A&M had a Connor Wagman problem.
They fixed that problem and stopped playing him.
But
right?
the problem with Carson Beck is you're paying the kid $1.5 million.
Yeah, this gets into a whole bunch of other stuff where it's like, at some point you got to go, fuck that money. It's what they call sunk cost, right? You already spent it. It's not generating any revenue anymore. Just fucking cut your
losses.
Yeah, cut your losses and move on. Because I'll tell you what, eventually one of these kids that's getting paid $1.5 million or Bryce Underwood money is going to cost a coach their job. And the other coaches are going to be like, well, fuck that. Like, it's cool that the boosters are pressuring me to play this kid I paid $1 million. But you know what's not cool? Me losing my $10 million salary. So, sorry.
Right. He just completely Beck just completely underthrew the wideout. I mean,
Beck, I don't know if Livy Dunn is the next. Not Livy Dunn, sorry. Respect to Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens, great people. But I think that the Cavender, isn't that it?
Yeah, wasn't he dating one of them?
He's dating one of them. And I got to imagine that is the most distracting thing in the world.
Oh, he's
And my children are in the room with me, so I won't say why. But I feel like it's a Kardashian thing. Like he's so enamored with this chick, and it's like, yeah, now you suck at football because you're so worried about.
I don't know. Do I think he was distracted this year? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he became Superman.
Well, and this is the classic case of he was allegedly supposed to be better than Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't draft him over Shedeur Sanders.
No, him and Quinn Ewers were going to be number one pick. Him and Quinn Ewers were going to be number one pick.
They were going to be the first two Qs off the board.
And now neither one of them might get drafted.
Yeah,
I think both of them come back, if I'm being honest. And I think Texas boots Quinn and says, hey, go find another home. We got Arch Manning time now. You were supposed to be gone. And the fact that you're still around is kind of annoying.
I think it's Arch Manning time, and
I agree, G. I agree. That's on me. I mix them up. Hot blonde athletes, but I agree. Livy way hotter.
They all look the same,
Now, I mean, that's racist, I guess. I don't know what that is, but it's something.
All right. Let's get back on track here. Georgia's about to score. I don't know how but see, this is the thing with the playoffs that I go back to because it's expanded now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can have a team like Notre Dame is on fire right now. They could catch fire and run through the playoff.
Yep. I think they peaked at the right time too.
Yes.
I agree.
I think when it comes down to it, when they play somebody with better talent at certain positions, I think eventually their shortcomings catch up to them. But there's no reason Notre Dame can't make the Final Four. I mean, or even a championship game. Hold on.
Right. I don't think that is out of the realm of possibility. So
yeah, but I think at the end of the day, the shortcomings of Riley Leonard, the young offensive line, the injuries on defense and everything,
and you got here's a and since we're on the SEC quarterback thing, Nico, the $8 million man, this isn't, and I get it, he's still young, but Nico's thrown 15 touchdown passes this year. Do you know who the predominant touchdowns he's thrown his touchdowns have been to this year? He threw 2 against NC State, 1 against Kent State, where they hung a 71 burger on him. He threw 1 against Oklahoma, 0 against Arkansas, loss, 0 against Florida. He threw 1 against Alabama, threw 1 against Kentucky, 2 against Mississippi State, 0 against Georgia, and 4 against UTEP. I don't think that's a good touchdown stat line.
No, for sure. And Tennessee's offense has been suspect. I mean, I think that's really the downfall because Tennessee's defense has been pretty good, actually. Tennessee has the 4th best scoring defense in the country. But when it comes to the SEC, I just don't know what you do. Like, do you give that conference 3 teams in the playoff when they've been, honestly, I mean, kind of a shit conference this year?
I wouldn't.
Am I wrong?
The problem with the SEC is that they're having an issue of every team showing up consistently for 12 weeks.
No, miss me with that. No. You can get me with that, like they beat each other up. You can get me with that.
No. I'm not to a
degree, but
I'm not saying that. I'm not even going on they beat each other up. I'm just saying that when Ole Miss played Kentucky, they completely no-showed the game. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah. No. So you're saying the top teams didn't show up every
Yes,
week?
the
Got
top
you.
teams.
Okay.
So I'm talking Ole Miss, I'm talking Alabama, I'm talking Georgia, Tennessee.
But like at the end of the day, that's your fucking job is to show up every week. Like just because people think it's harder to do that in the SEC doesn't mean it's actually harder. Like it is extremely difficult for a Big 10, ACC, Big 12 team to show up every single week and put out and look at Notre Dame. Perfect example.
The 1 week they no-showed, they lost.
Yeah. They didn't show up 1 week out of 12. And they lost to a bad MAC school.
Yep. So
if you want to punish them for that, then how can you not punish the team that doesn't show up 25% of the time?
Georgia on the board.
There you go. Hey, Georgia might win, and this might be not even really that relevant of a conversation. But who knows? I don't know. But it's fun to watch, and it makes for great content.
and the other thing, too, while we're on this, it is the committee is got to get on their hands and knees and wish to sweet baby Jesus that Clemson beats South Carolina.
Yeah.
Because the South Carolina people, I'm just saying, because of where they're ranked, if they go out and they curb stomp Clemson like Georgia did, they're going to want them in.
Yeah.
And they'll have an argument.
But, you know, we went over that last show.
Yeah.
And, like, their argument is the same Ole Miss argument, which is the same Alabama argument.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough because what? Alabama beat both Ole Miss and South Carolina, I believe.
And what is going to make Ole Miss beat they beat the hell out of South Carolina. But see, here's the problem that you're going to run into. When it comes to this playoff, Penn State better show up.
Show up for what? The Maryland game?
No, I'm saying in the playoff because if Penn State wins tomorrow, they better show up in the playoff and not get – because let's say they play Notre Dame and Notre Dame beats them by 3 scores. It completely invalidates the whole Big Ten argument.
I think it more so invalidates it if they play an SEC school, but yes, I see what you're saying.
Because let's say Indiana, for all intents,
shits the bed against SMU or something,
and gets boat race because Lackley likes to score a lot of points. It completely torpedoes the Big Ten credibility. Only if the SEC shows up in the playoff. If they show up in the playoff in the way the bracket sits.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see if Georgia does lose. It's going to be crazy to see how the bracket sets up. But I think the biggest argument to be made is fuck this conference champion bye shit. If a 3-loss team, SEC team wins the SEC, they should not get a bye.
Well, see, here's the thing with the conference. I don't have an issue with it, but not everybody in your conference plays each other. That's the problem. Because like this year, SMU didn't play anybody in the conference. They didn't play Miami. They didn't play Clemson. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think ultimately, here's the point I'm getting at, though. I don't care what happens. Assuming Ohio State takes care of business tomorrow, Oregon and Ohio State should both get a bye.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no team that has shown me they're better than either one of those two teams.
And the only team that came close to Ohio State was Penn State. And Ohio State, it's not that they didn't no-show on offense. It's just the fact that they had a
They
bad
spotted
day.
them 10 points to start the game.
Yeah, you
And
spotted
then they
them.
still dominated the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, defensively 100%. But
And offensively, Will Howard had a pretty good game after the pick six.
yeah,
And Will Howard had a great game against Oregon. He was 80% completion, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
because the issue
Richie, you're muted. I saw your mouth moving, but I couldn't hear the words coming out of it.
I said, you take that pick six out, Ohio State, they didn't score on Ohio State's defense. All they had was 3 points.
Yeah.
And then whatever they did in the red zone that one time they had a chance to score, that was bizarre. But
they kicked 2 field goals. They scored 6 points on the defense, and then Will Howard gifted them 7.
Right.
So what does that say about Penn State when Indiana scored a touchdown and Penn State didn't?
Well, I think Indiana's offense is better than Penn State's. But Indiana's defense isn't as good as Penn State's.
Yeah, that is
opposites.
That is a big deal. I don't know how this is going to. This is just my final point on it, and then we'll kind of reset the show. I don't know how this is going to shake out, and I would not be shocked if the SEC gets a 3-loss team in.
Well, if Georgia loses, I think it's a lock they get a 3-loss team in.
Yeah, they're going to have to prop somebody up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other – because I think the SEC is getting 3 teams in no matter what. And right now, there's Texas with 1 loss, Georgia with 2, and Tennessee with 2.
Because
if Georgia loses, they're still getting a 3rd team in.
Because, see, what do you do if Tennessee loses on the road at Vandy?
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
And then
it's just going to be a pain in the ass.
And then Captain Diarrhea completely decides to pull a rabbit out of the hat and do the unthinkable and beats Alabama. It's the wildest thing ever because Alabama has not beat Auburn hasn't beat Alabama since 2010 without Nick Saban.
And when Cam Newton was quarterback.
Yeah.
That was 2024, wasn't it? Or 2027?
2010 was the
No, I'm saying the score.
Oh yeah, it was something like that. But
Bama was beating them, and Auburn came back and won it.
But yeah, Tuberville dominated that rivalry for a while whenever Shula was there. So I don't know. The ACC's getting 2 teams in. It would be the most Kyle McCord thing ever for Miami to go on the road at Syracuse and completely lay an egg again. Then that knocks one ACC team out because I don't think they can put a 3-loss conference champion in and just. But
they have to.
I don't know because there's no information on this, and it's kind of been for the most.
So the top 5 ranked conference champions have to get in. That's just.
Well, I'm just saying that there's no past.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no
information because this is the first time.
There's no precedent.
Yeah, there's no precedent for it being done because I think everybody's going to lose their mind, like when LSU made it in the BCS with 2 losses and they played Ohio State, and we all know how that turned out. Sorry, Kirk Barton, but that's what happened.
They fucking mushroom stamped them.
And,
Sorry.
But, just not trying to be in the Wayback Machine, the Big Ten needs to have a good first showing in this playoff.
Well, I think they have 2 teams that can make sure that happens.
And it's just because of how big the conferences is. I don't know if Ohio State's going to play Oregon next year.
I don't think they do.
I don't think so. Which, honestly, I like that.
I mean,
Because they'll face off in the conference championship then.
Yeah.
Most
But
likely.
Most likely they'll see each other, and if they don't see Oregon, then they didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah, exactly. But
we'll go ahead and reset the show. We're already 45 minutes in. We're down the college football ranking rabbit hole. And then we have all of tomorrow to try to figure this out. But if you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe button. We're getting up there. We're trying to push this thing. We're trying to do a big subscriber push going forward, trying to get to that 1,000 mark. If you could help us do that, that would be greatly appreciated. And then December 7th, Cigar Lounge up in Hubbard, Ohio, December 7th. We're going to be there. Me, Carter, and Richie, we're going to be doing a live podcast at noon, conference championship weekend. We're going to be there hanging out. Here comes the flyer, producer Ed off the top rope like Randy Savage. We're going to be here hanging out, having a couple of cigars, hanging out, and then we're going to do the live show from there and watch the mayhem ensue. So with that being said, we'll be there at noon, be there hanging out afterwards. But with that being said, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, that helps us a lot, and it helps us grow this show. That's what we're trying to do here, trying to bring it to trying to bring our perspective to the national landscape of things.
So Oregon comes to Ohio State in 2026. They got Texas. Or no, they're at Texas.
So that's 2 years.
They got Texas in that. 2 years. 2 years. They're at Texas in 2026. They got Ball State, Kent State.
Bro, here's the thing. Like, Texas comes to Ohio Stadium next year. And then they go back to Texas the year after, right?
They got a home and home deal.
Yeah, home and home.
It's so like that should be Arch Manning's first game as like the guy.
Right.
Because it's week 1. It's like fucking A&M Notre Dame this year.
And I believe that's
a crazy idea.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
Could you imagine a world where the starting quarterback for Texas is Arch Manning and the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes is Quinn Ewers?
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
I'm just saying.
Lure him back.
It could. Yeah. I mean, he wanted to be a Buckeye. And Ryan Day fucking put his ass on practice squad, and he said, I'm not sitting behind fucking Kyle fucking McCord.
And we see how that's working out.
I'm just saying, that would be wild, right? If there were football gods or TV gods, they would want that matchup.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, week 1, that would be huge.
But
here's another interesting thing that happened while we were away. And I think this is more interesting, and it's more tied to what we're, talking about with the rivalry games. Matt Eberflus fired in Chicago.
I mean, the fact that he even got on the bus after the game is amazing.
So
after that display of incompetence,
that was ridiculous yesterday at the end.
So
I can't even fathom that.
Eberflus out at Chicago.
And tell me again, it was Justin Fields. Go ahead. It was Fields.
Yeah.
Fields was the problem.
Yeah, completely Fields. Yep.
So
wait until Williams has 4 different offensive coordinators in his first 3 years and sucks ass like he does.
I think that
and
I think we're going to get to a point here, Carter. I think the replacement that we're going to have for Matt Eberflus, I think it's going to be Lincoln Riley.
I was just going there.
And that brings up our topic du jour.
Yep.
Because it's not working at USC, obviously.
No, and we said this in April?
Yeah.
May, something like that. This game, this is Lincoln Riley's exit from college football. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here and just go off for a second. So bear with me. But I've been hearing it from all other fan bases about Notre Dame and just how USC is going to win. I'm like, you guys don't watch football. Like, you don't watch football if you believe that. If you believe Notre Dame is going to go to LA and lose to this USC team, you just haven't watched Notre Dame, and that's fine. Just admit that, though. Admit that you're being a fan. Admit that you aren't actually analyzing anything, because when I analyzed it this week, and I promise you, I am a Notre Dame fan. I'm not shy about that. But when I analyze games, when I try to look at games, I take those fan glasses off. And I've been pretty upfront about games that I thought Notre Dame would struggle in. And sometimes I was right. Sometimes Notre Dame surprised me and they didn't struggle as much. This game right here, I don't know what the spread is right now. I think it's Notre Dame minus, what, 10 and a half?
7 and a,
seven and a half. 7.5. Bet the fucking mortgage. Notre Dame covers 7.5 99 times out of 100. And we got a Trojan fan in here, so we'll bring that up. But haven't played a road game since early September, buddy. You guys haven't beat a team since the first week of the season, and they weren't that good. But
I mean, what are we talking about here? Went on the road and laid an egg at Michigan.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress from that. I understand. And hey, USC fans, you absolutely should be in your bag right now thinking that you guys can win. I know what it's like. I've been a Notre Dame fan my whole life. I lived through the Pete Carroll era when I thought Notre Dame could beat USC, and they absolutely could not. So I know what it's like to be a delusional fan. Bottom line is, Notre Dame's defense is top 2 in the country. Notre Dame's scoring offense is top 5 in the country. USC can't even sniff the top 50. So there's no questions. Notre Dame is missing so many of their preseason guys that were supposed to be, like Benjamin Morrison, probably the best corner in college football. He's out for the year, has been for the last 6 weeks. Their starting left tackle out for the year, has been since before the first game. Starting their top 2 defensive ends out for the year, have been since week 2. Like, somehow this team has elevated itself, and the young talent continues to show up every single day, and they're coached well, and they know. And the biggest kudos I could give this team right now is Mike Denbrock and Al Golden have done a fucking phenomenal job of taking what they have and playing to the strength. Because Ohio State fans saw it against Nebraska. When that offensive line, when Josh Simmons went down, the offensive line wasn't the same, and they struggled. Never happened with Notre Dame. They immediately put a plan in place to help the offensive line, to help a young freshman, to help a sophomore, to make sure that that didn't happen. Same thing on the defensive side of the ball. They don't get the pressure on the quarterback that they would have if they still had their top 2 defensive ends. They can't play press man 100% of the time like they could have if they had Benjamin Morrison. But you know what they've done? They've schemed it up every week, and they have gone out and they've taken care of business. And that's what this is for Notre Dame. This is a business trip. They are going to go out to LA. They're going to board a flight. They're going to put their headphones on, and they're going to go out, and they're going to go like it's a business trip. This is nothing more than just a business trip. This isn't some crazy rivalry game where we have to worry about, Michigan or anything like that. Like USC, you're cute. You're the cute girl at the bar who was really hot in high school. But right now, you're beat. You got 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, and you're nothing anymore. And that's what Notre Dame's going to treat you like. So I promise you, 7.5, hammer it. Notre Dame covers, Notre Dame wins, and Notre Dame goes to the playoffs. That's all I got to say about that.
On the other side of the coin, would you say LSU or Nebraska is a bigger win for USC?
Nebraska.
I mean, they beat Nebraska at home. So I'll run down this. I'll run down the schedule.
Yeah, let's see if they have a win that even compares to any of Notre Dame's.
We'll just compare it to A&M. A&M fair?
No. Yeah, I can tell you the answer. No, they don't have one. But yes, go ahead.
Well, because considering A&M beat LSU by like 20 at home.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do the transitive property thing. So win against LSU, neutral site. Beat Utah State. Lost to Michigan on the road.
Beat Oh, my God. I forget. Continue.
Beat Wisconsin at home.
Okay. Hey, there's a win.
With no quarterback. Lost to Minnesota on the road. Lost to Penn State in overtime by a field goal.
Okay, so that might be their best win, and it's a loss.
Lost to Maryland by 1.
Holy shit. Okay.
They did kick Rutgers' ass.
So does everybody.
Lost to Washington at their place.
Jesus.
Beat Nebraska and has beat UCLA, and they only beat UCLA by 6.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's not an impressive win on that schedule. Like LSU, sorry, they're trash. Sorry. I gave you props. If you go back and you watch after week 1, I gave you props. Oh, buddy. Let's talk about it. Army, Navy, Purdue, Northern Illinois, Virginia, Florida State. You left out a few. Let's say Louisville, Texas A&M. But Army and Navy are better than anybody you've beaten this entire season. Like, not even close. Purdue is did you play Purdue? Because they're the same as fucking Maryland, who you beat by 1. Northern Illinois, I agree. I said Northern Illinois, bad loss. Virginia and Florida State, terrible teams. Agreed. But you specifically left out certain teams on purpose. And let's not act like you're 6-5. You lost to Michigan. Like, get the fuck out. Nobody loses to Michigan this year.
I mean,
literally nobody.
Indiana beat them.
Indiana beat Michigan. Fucking Texas beat Michigan. Fucking Minnesota beat Michigan, who you lost to. I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole, but yeah, nah. Stop with that bullshit. Notre Dame's schedule is as hard, if not harder, than USC's, and they have 1 loss. You have fucking 5. Let's not act like it's something crazy.
See, this is what I'm talking about with the whole conference thing. Because if you frame it and you take the SEC off of it and slap the Big Ten on it, people are going to do the same thing.
Yeah,
I just
listen,
can't.
All you have to know if you're a USC fan is you had Caleb Williams and couldn't beat Notre Dame. You don't have Caleb Williams anymore, and you're a lot fucking worse. You're not beating Notre Dame. Sorry.
They had they couldn't even beat Tulane.
Yeah.
Or Utah.
Listen, it's and you're not gonna get me to be like super logical right now. I'm on my rivalry week mode. So like I would probably take these comments a lot differently if it wasn't the Friday before Notre Dame USC. But it's fuck USC. And I'm sorry, your arguments are bullshit. Your team is bullshit. Lincoln Riley is bullshit. You're not even going to have Miller Moss next year, and you're not going to have Lincoln Riley because Notre Dame's coming in. They're going to lay that fucking smackdown on you, and Lincoln Riley's going to jump ship. It's going to be the end of his college coaching career. The last game he will ever coach is the Notre Dame game when he loses by 45.
You think, with it being the Bears, I think the McCaskies will ask input on who Caleb Williams would presumably want.
Oh, you know
he's going to want Lincoln.
Riley.
Yeah,
you know
he's going to want Lincoln Riley.
Oh,
they probably jerk each other off.
Easy.
Hey, no
Spitting
diddy.
facts. Spitting facts.
Right?
Georgia. Or Georgia Tech's about to score.
Let's go. Let's go, Ramblin' Wreck. Also, Georgia Tech, better win than anybody USC has beat all year. Boom.
That is a very valid argument.
Argue with a wall. But the one game that we haven't talked about much, and I just wanted to go on my spiel about Notre Dame and USC because obviously I'm passionate about that. But guys, we have a game tomorrow that, and we'll wrap this up after this. We have a game tomorrow that is fucking 4 years in the making.
Oh yeah,
and it is time.
Oh, don't do that. We're gonna
for fucking Ryan Day to come out there and just
annihilate.
Get sexual on them, right? Like, am I wrong? Like, I think it's time, man. He wanted to hang 100 on him in 2020. Now's the time. You got to do it 4 years later.
I think that where we're at in this point in time, I think if it's any indication of how that is going to go tomorrow, I mean, I'm gonna watch it with pure enjoyment. But the biggest thing that we have here is you have everything that Ryan Day and the family and everybody that's been through. And, everybody was very, very critical of him until they found out the whole Stallions and all of that because nobody knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that Ryan Day isn't going to do what he did last week, like when he scored that last touchdown when they didn't have to against Indiana, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't go SEC Florida, Georgia at the end of the game when Urban kept calling timeouts to make them try to get the ball back.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would love that.
That was one of the, and we've talked about it on the show, but that was one of the coolest things I've ever witnessed in person is after Georgia rushed the field the year before on the first touchdown and got 75 personal fouls, the next year, Urban Meyer calling a timeout and just running plays and just saying like, no, fuck you. We'll end this game when I'm goddamn good and ready. We're not going to give you anything. And that is just, I don't say many compliments to Urban Meyer anymore. I think he was a great football coach. I think whatever. But one thing I will never, ever question is that dude's mentality. Because all he wanted to do was take your soul. And that's the type of mentality I want in a head football coach. I
look at this and I have a feeling that is.
So I got asked this question, and then it was asked at the live show I was at. If you're Ryan Day tomorrow, do you go for 2 every single fucking time? Just to prove you can.
Whenever, like, let's say they're up by 3 scores and they score again to go up like 28 points. Yeah. That's when you go for 2 every time.
I agree. You don't do it right off the bat because you got to make sure you win the game, right? Yeah. But as soon as the game's kind of in hand, like you're up 17-21, I think you go for 2 every single time. And this is the other thing that Zach said that I think is absolutely true. If I'm a Mecca Ibuka, if I'm Trey Henderson, if I'm Denzel Burke, if I'm any of those dudes that came back that didn't have to, and it's like, let's say they're winning by 30 at the end of the third quarter, and Ryan comes over and is like, hey, great game. Go sit down. I look at him and go, you go fuck right off with that. I'm going out here and I'm playing, and I'm gonna take care of this.
I don't think that is going to happen tomorrow. I don't think Ryan is going to call the dogs off per se.
No, I think he's going to unleash holy hell. I think we're going to get Georgia playoff Ryan Day tomorrow, boys.
I think it's going to be Georgia Ryan Day playoff, except with extreme rage.
No, yeah, and I think if he gets in that mode, which I think he'll be in that mode from the start, but I think if it gets to that point where they are just putting it on him, there's not a player like. Let me tell you one thing: if you're an Ohio State fan and you like seeing Arvell Reese on the field, you like seeing Caden Curry, you like seeing some of these guys on the field, you're not going to see them tomorrow. Sorry, it's not going to happen. They're not rotating shit. I promise you, unless they're losing. Then they might rotate to see if it helps. But nobody's rotating. Everybody's playing every fucking snap, and they are going to put an absolute beatdown on that team if they can.
You think? I think Jim Knowles will go Kane Womack in the LSU game when when they're up by like 35 points, and he's still bringing zero pressure.
Oh my god. Dude, it'll be press man, zero coverage the entire second half if they're up.
And he's going to be like Coach Yost from Remember the Titans. You just blitz all night. Do not let them gain another yard.
Oh, my God. He will literally, 100% he's Coach Yost. He goes, I don't want them to gain another yard. The rest of the night, I want them to remember the night they played the Titans. That is 100% what he will do. I think, and I think they should. I think they should. Because they have 3 years of pain and suffering that they have to make up for fans, for players, for coaches. I watch Ryan Day talk about it. That motherfucker compared it to the death of his father.
Yeah, I mean, it makes him sick to his stomach.
Oh yeah, that's
so here. Go ahead.
That's how the fan base is. You know, it is.
So, yeah,
it's like zombies after brains. Whenever you know.
So I will tell you one. Yeah, go.
Just. It is. Yes. This comment right here.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, it is going like. I wouldn't want to be a Michigan player tomorrow. I wouldn't want to be a Michigan player's girlfriend. I wouldn't want to be a Michigan player's mother because Ohio State isn't going to be satisfied until they have pillaged the whole town.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
And I'll tell you one thing about Ryan Day with that comment. I've been around the rivalry a long time. I've seen it firsthand a few different times, different ways. But when he talked about losing his dad and like how losing to Michigan was like second to that. That's the first time I have ever seen Ryan Day look like he actually understood the rivalry. And if Ryan Day figures the rivalry out, figures out what it actually means, buddy, Michigan is in trouble.
Oh yeah. And you know, I completely agree with what Carter was saying there. Do you have anything to add, Rich?
No, I that's what I've been thinking too, like just what Carter said.
Yeah.
And then he's got that 3 years of pent up anger and hostility towards that team up north. He's gonna have these guys ready tomorrow.
You fucked with the wrong guy. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know, Ryan. You fucked with the wrong guy.
Fuck around and find out. I'm excited. I was just thinking back to the 2018 Ohio State team up north game when I went with my dad. Nobody sat down. People stood for 3.5 hours. The place was electric. I mean, the place was just nuts. People were dancing in the aisles. Tomorrow, people are going to be dancing in the aisles. People are going to storm. They're going to storm the field. I know they are. I'll be one of them.
And let me tell you, if you're an Ohio State fan and you go to the game tomorrow, if you sit down, fucking sell your ticket right now. I don't want you there. You aren't the person that we need. Nobody should sit.
I think that, where it's at and where it's going, it's not trending in the right direction for Michigan, but
hey, but they got Larry Ellison, baby.
So
Loveland's
they'll be fine in the future.
But Bryce Underwood's showing up next year. We'll see how that experiment goes. For now. Joe.
It's a good title.
I think he'll tuck tail and run to the Chicago Bears. I'm just telling you. Telling you.
It's gonna happen.
I think he leaves either way. He'll take another job or he'll go somewhere.
There's got to be some odds where he's the heavy favorite.
I agree with this statement. I think the first half might get a little dicey for Ohio State fans that are expecting a blowout, but I think by the end of the first half, Ohio State will have like a 10-point lead, and then the second half is just when they're going to
blow the doors open. Just like 2018, like how 2018 was. It was 24-19 at half, and then Ohio State just poured it on the second half.
Yep.
Block punts, fly sweeps, all that.
Yeah, that's what he was best at.
I think the Bears hire him because he's got the history with Caleb Williams.
No, I think he's just saying like that's what he is. Like, he was an offensive coordinator in the Big 12, and then he became a head coach, but he never stopped being just an offensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess real quick, do you want to reset the show and then buzz through Saturday's game? Does everybody got time for that?
Yeah, we're good. My kids can stay up as late as they want, whatever.
It's 10:30.
We got like maybe 10 minutes left. But everybody out there watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe button. We've got the live show December 7th, championship weekend. Me, Richie, and Carter are going to be doing a live podcast there at noon. Cigar Lounge. So it's gonna be an epic one. It's gonna be a good time. We'll be there hanging out, all three of us, after the live show. We'll be there taking questions, and we do have an extra mic. You might get some airtime if you want to come up and ask some questions and chop it up.
One thing about that live show, I just got word today. Actually, I have 2 tickets to the Texas A&M game. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Saturday, September 13th, next fall. I got 2 tickets secured. If we have enough people at the live show, I will give those away on air.
That's fair.
It's in South Bend, so it's not that far.
All right. Well, that sounds like an incentive to be there. But, with all that being said, we'll buzz through the games. We've already went through the Ohio State, Michigan. I'll hand pick the ones to see if they move the needle. Tennessee, Vandy, who you liking?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'll go against the grain. Why not Vandy?
Because they're trash. Just because they beat Alabama doesn't mean they're not trash. But okay. Yeah. I feel it. Uh-oh. Is Duke frozen?
Am I?
Oh, okay. I don't know. You just weren't moving.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I thought you were going to continue talking, but
no, I don't care about that game enough to talk.
South Carolina, Clemson. Does the Mayo King get it done on the road in the other Death Valley?
Wait, is Will Levis playing?
No. Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer versus Dabo, South Carolina.
I think it happens. I think it throws a wrench in the whole SEC.
You think Dabo wins?
No, I think SC wins.
Oh, South Carolina, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that throws a major wrench in the gear if they do end up winning big. That completely if South Carolina blows Clemson out, it blows the whole playoff thing up.
Yes.
And especially
And I think South Carolina will, by the way.
Yeah, I think they win too. And it also throws a huge wrench in the gear if another team wins that's on the list. I'm just scrolling right now.
Maryland, Penn State, obviously.
Georgia's on 4th and goal, and they just dropped the ball.
Let's go. Let's go, Ramblin' Wreck. The Chris Drew special.
I agree with you, Joe. Yes, he does make dumb in-game decisions. Will James Franklin wake up and remember he's James Franklin against
yes,
Maryland?
Yeah, they'll be fine. That game won't even be close.
Yeah, his dad was better. We already talked about that. Miami, Syracuse. Do you even give McCord? Miami's defense is not very good.
No, McCord's already checked out for the year. He's worried about a draft that he's not wanted in.
We got a PI in the end zone.
Phantom call.
No, and I should have had that clip for us, but Kyle McCord's already thinking about the NFL draft where he wasn't even wanted. Like nobody cares, and he's like, I might play. I might play in a bowl game. I might play against Miami. Like, bro, the fuck out of here. That's why you're soft as fuck. That's why you were shit at Ohio State. That's 100% of the reason why Will Howard is better than you. Like, Kyle McCord has a better arm, is a better passer. He's just a pussy. And Miami walks through that game, honestly, not even close. I don't know what the fuck Duke is doing here. He's just jumping in and out like a goddamn bro.
Hold on 1 second. I got to leave and come back.
You keep doing that. But Miami, Syracuse, not close. Miami wins by 2 scores. California, SMU, nobody cares. SMU probably wins by 2 scores. Auburn, Alabama. You have any thoughts on that?
I think the title win.
I like Auburn.
I think the Boars is just like, shit, my pants are going to be on fire after this game if I don't win it.
Yeah, I think that's why he might lose. I don't know if he's ever had pressure.
Good to see somebody who doesn't buckle under the pressure.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever had pressure. So I think probably Alabama wins that game, but I'm taking Auburn. I think Auburn wins. Fuck it. Heard it here first.
You got Auburn over Alabama.
Oh, shit, sorry.
I like
Devils.
I kind of like Auburn in that.
Yeah, I took Auburn.
The last intriguing game on the slate. I don't think anybody cares about Iowa K-State. Texas A&M.
I'm going Texas A&M.
It's in A&M, right? Kyle Field.
Yeah, it's at Kyle Field. Yep.
Yeah, give me fucking A&M, baby. Let's go. Let's bring chaos into this bitch.
Hammer that money line.
Because the wild thing is that if Georgia loses, they still go, and then you have 2 3-loss teams staring at this.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
It's not in Auburn. It's in Alabama, but right, it's in Tuscaloosa, I believe.
Yeah. So,
yes.
But I don't know. We put an hour and 20 on the books tonight, boys.
Miami does have no defense. Miami is overrated. I agree, Joe.
I think Cam Ward's really good, though.
No, and that's what he said. He said Miami only has Ward and then one wide receiver, Restrepo or whatever.
Restrepo.
Yeah, Restrepo. Yeah. And
future Browns quarterback.
Hey,
Whoa, come on. Don't
I'm
be
just-
talking about Carter's Browns like that. They are perfectly okay with keeping Deshaun
Cleveland-
Watson.
Whoa, we did not
maybe
say
the
that.
Cleveland Crash-
Just so you know,
Cleveland
Justin Fields is the next quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Heard it here first.
All right. With that being said, I ain't got nothing else. Carter, you good? Rich, you good?
I'm good. I just can't wait for tomorrow. Buckle those chin strap, boys.
All right, everybody out there. Thanks for watching. Tune in, hit the like and subscribe, and
Stay cool.
yeah. All right, everybody have a good night. Hold on. Let's end the stream.